Today we're demonstrating this pneumatic-hydraulic drum tipping stacker. The unit's designed to lift and tip drums in a hazardous zoned area. The unit's suitable for zones 1, 2, 21 and 22. And what we're going to demonstrate is lifting drums off the floor and off pallets and decanting them into this vessel. With this particular model, we can lift drums straight off the corner of a pallet. So often drums come in to a warehouse or into a facility, 4 drums on a pallet. The pallet's generally 1200 mil square. These drums we can approach on the corner, and we'll show you how that works now. So I've got a band fully open. Push the unit forward just so we get close to the drum. I'm not going to go fully around it yet. Now I've pulled out all our slack from our ratchet, so I've got plenty of slack to be able to pass it around the drum. If we've got enough room, we can pass our hand through the middle when we pass the strap round, or we can pass it over the top. So what I'm going to do, take our hook here, and this is going to go around the drum. I'm going to bring our door in and pull the unit forward with one hand, so we get our band around the drum. I'll leave the strap there for a second. Come around to this side, close the other door and bring the unit fully in, and then taking our hook and passing it around the front. So I'm hooked on to the front there. Now what we do, we want to secure our ratchet, so you get a view there. So I'm going to pull through the slack as the first thing, and then operate the ratchet. Don't need to go too tight, hand tight's fine. So we've got a nice tight strap there. Then we've got our rim clamp. So our rim clamp connects under the lip of a drum. You can see here we're a little bit high, so I'm just going to adjust that by removing this pin, lowering the rim clamp down a hole, and then refitting our pin. And we'll show a close-up of that later in the video. Our rim clamp's adjusted there, and to secure that, we lift the rim clamp up with one hand, bring it over the top of the drum, and then we spin it down. So we've got a wing nut on the top of the rim clamp there. So strap secure around the belly and rim clamp secure. We then press our lift button, and I'll pull it away from the pallet. We'll now move the pallet out of the way and tip the drum into a vessel. To lift the drum, we press the lift button on the rear panel. The unit's air powered, and how the unit works, it has a pneumatic pump that generates hydraulic pressure. So ultimately the lift system is a hydraulic lift system. Once we're raised to height, I'm going to move the unit forward. At the back here I've got the steering, so from the tiller I can control the direction of travel. Push and pull the unit from this point. So I'm going to bring it up just till we touch the vessel, so we know we're in the right position. I'm going to come around this side, and I've got a gearbox handle, and as I rotate the handle, we're going to empty the drum. So I begin rotating. When we're emptying the drum, it's useful to hold the stacker with one hand and then also rotate it with the other. And this allows us, as we're tipping, to push and pull the unit and line up the flow of material with the vessel we're tipping into. The unit uses a self-locking gearbox, so at any point if we stop turning the handle, the drum actually remains locked in position. The drum never self-rotates. So we'll bring our drum back to the vertical. Again, as I'm doing this, I can actually pull the unit backwards. The unit's nice and light and easy to move. We get the drum straight, we'll come back and we'll lower it down. We'll then show you how to disconnect the drum by removing the rim clamp and then unstrapping the belt that passes around the front of the unit. If you're tipping a lot of drums, we can offer powered rotation. So instead of turning the gearbox handle, you would press a button on the rear panel to tip the contents into the vessel. We place it down just so the weight is off the unit and the drum's on the floor. And then we do the opposite. So hold the rim clamp and release from there. And then the ratchet here, we pull our lever to unhook it, like so, and we bring it all the way around until it clicks. And as we open it, we pull that slack. So you can see the straps ready to release on the front. The arms on this unit can slide, so it can be useful just to pull an arm out to make sure it's easy to remove the drum. And we can either pull the drum out from the front or reverse the unit away from the drum, depending on our preference. The band assembly on this unit handles steel, plastic and fiberboard drums. We've got a plastic Mauser drum here, so we push the unit forward so the band's around the drum. This time we haven't got the pallet, so we can simply lift our strap, bring it around the front and hook it on. We then need to tension it, so we pull our slack through by holding the loose end of the strap, and then we operate the ratchet. Once we've tightened our strap, we need to take our rim clamp, lift it up. I need to slacken it off slightly, so we just undo the wing nut on the top. And lift it over and tighten it down. The idea of a rim clamp is the band is gripping around the belly of the drum, but plastic drums are quite slippery and they're very smooth, so the rim clamp holds the drum in the vertical and prevents any slippage up or down. Once we're tightened, I'm happy with that. I'm going to press our lift button. Push the unit till the drum touches our vessel. About there should do. Move the strap here and then begin rotating. Again, one hand on the unit means I can pull the unit back if needed, or pull it forward if we want to tip further into the tank. Once we're fully empty, bring the drum back to vertical. Nice and vertical, and we'll lower down. Some customers decide to fit this model with a weighing system. So if you need to weigh the contents of what's in the drum or dispense a certain amount of material, we can fit a display on the back of the unit here, which will show you exactly how much you've emptied from the drum. Move the unit back slightly and lower down. Remove the rim clamp and then remove the ratchet. Once the tension's out of the ratchet and it's locked open, that just makes our strap nice and loose. open the band at the front. I can just pull the drum out, ready to get the next one. This video is showing how to connect the universal drum band to a steel drum or any other drum. First of all, we've passed our ratchet strap around the front of the drum and hooked it onto the other side of the band. We then take the strap through the ratchet, taking the loose end and pulling it towards us. This takes out any slack and ensures the band is as tight as it can be manually. We then take the ratchet and tighten it up around the drum. It needs to be tight, it needs to be snug, but it doesn't need to be over tight. Once done, pull this clip and store the ratchet in the closed position. The second step is to attach our rim clamp. We put this against the drum, take the top hook over the top lip of the drum, and then we tighten down this ring nut. Once tightened, this will support the drum, and should this band move at all or slip against a slippery sided plastic drum, the rim clamp will keep the drum in position. This is the universal band. To take a drum out of it, we loosen off the top rim clamp by undoing this ring nut. We then take the top section off so the rim clamp is clear from the drum. We then take the loose handle, hold on to this, pull this lever to position the ratchet out and pull it all the way round until it clicks. When it clicks, the strap will be loose. And you see that loose strap, we can then disconnect it from the other side of the band, and because it's loose, we can bring it around and remove the drum. Looking again at our universal drum band, this band's adjustable for different drum diameters. At the moment, it's set up for a drum of 580 millimeters in diameter, but we can reduce this down to 350 millimeters. To adjust the band diameter, the arms are sliding, so I can pull the arm towards the other one, and I can also push this left arm towards the center. We then need to take out some of these plates, and we do this by holding in the center and removing these two pins. We then take one band in one hand, one band in another, and pull them apart. We bring them across and slot it into the next set of holes. We then take our pin, refit it in the two holes here, and we then have the band with a smaller diameter. You can see this section of band is at the back, and there's other holes here, so we can adjust the band at a variety of diameters depending on the drum we plan to tip. You can see now if I pull in this smaller drum, this drum's empty just for an example, you can see that this smaller diameter, the drum is on the center line of the gearbox, and we can then attach it with a ratchet as shown in the previous part of the video. We're now looking at the rear control panel. As this is a pneumatic air-powered machine, we must plug in the air line to the unit. We have a port on the left of the unit and on the right, so we can connect the air on either side or both sides if needed. On the panel itself, we have two buttons and an emergency stop. The emergency stop is activated by pressing down firmly. This cuts all power to the machine. We then rotate the button clockwise and it pops up to reactivate the unit. The powered functions are lift and lower. We have our lift function. Here we press it down. We press and hold. And when we let go, the unit stops moving. Same with the lower. Press and hold to lower the drum. And when we let go, the unit stops moving.